So hello and welcome today. My name is John, and we are going to talk about writing your ebook the easy way using a service that we have called Pressbooks. Now, let's dive into the presentation. Now, I have been doing ebooks, both creation and teaching, for a while now. And when I learned about Pressbooks, I was ecstatic because this is an amazing service that we offer here at the library. And it is one that I think everyone should be accessing, especially if you want to write a book of your own. Because as you might have seen in some of my other ebook classes, creating an ebook that looks really good can be hard. Pressbooks takes a lot of that difficulty and just chucks it out the window. Let's find out how. Oh, and remember, if you have any questions at any given point in time, please put it in the chat. I will try to keep an eye out and answer your questions as I can. So, like it says here, I've muted all your microphones. That's just so that if there's any doorbells, dogs barking, alien encounters, I don't know, it's your life. That way we just don't have any interruptions. If you have a question, remember, ask it in the chat. Otherwise, sit back, relax, and let's have some fun. So today we're going to talk about Pressbooks. And what is it? Why do you want to use it? How do you get to it? And how do you use it? I think I already said that one, but it's so important, I said it twice. So Pressbooks is a free-to-use service. Now, let me take a step back on that one, because I said it's through the library. But if you were to Google Pressbooks right now, you would find Pressbooks.com. And we'll go there here in a few minutes. It is free to use, library or online without the library. The difference becomes in the publication side of things. You can use it all you want, but if you want to get a book out the other end, Pressbooks.com on the internet, that's where the money is. Library, free. So that's the difference. It is an amazingly powerful ebook creation tool. A lot of the things that I have taught before kind of get thrown out the window with Pressbooks because it takes all of those considerations and makes them null and void. What I really find amazing about it is both the ease and the ability to export in a lot of different formats. And I'll show you how to do that in a bit. But if you've ever had to make a physical book and an ebook at the same time and kind of stressed about what needs to go where, Pressbooks actually has a button that lets you export a physical book with all the formatting intact. So really, really powerful. If you have any experience with website development, specifically WordPress, you are really in luck because this is based off of WordPress. Granted, it's not based off of the current version of WordPress. It's WordPress pre-Gutenberg, which is their new box editor. But if you have experience with WordPress from 3-5 years ago, you are in luck. Now, why should you use it? Like I said, creating an ebook can be very hard, especially if you are someone who is not familiar with coding or really sure how to use Microsoft Office. By the way, the library may have a class on that. I'm not sure if we have any more classes on it this year, but I'll be sure to post stuff about that in the coming weeks and months on my channel. Pressbooks removes all that guesswork, like I said. It makes it so that you really just, all you need to do is type and it'll do the formatting for you. There are, at the last time I checked, 21 themes that you can pull from in Pressbooks. I'll show you what I mean. But a theme has all of your settings, your font, your page size, everything you could possibly care about predetermined for you. So you don't have to build it yourself. You just choose a theme, maybe make some changes if you need to, on the back end, but that means that you need some CSS, and then you're good to go. What I find really amazing, and I've personally done this basically to test it out, is that if you're a member of the Jacksonville Public Library, or if your library system is participating in this, you get instant access from Pressbooks into what is called the Indie Author Project, which means with a push of a button, filling out a couple of questions, you can be a published author. That's amazing for absolutely nothing. Now, there's a couple of places you can access Pressbooks. Like I mentioned, Pressbooks.com. That's the paid version. Free to access, free to use, not free to export. Another, the Jacksonville Public Library. It's kind of buried. For such a powerful tool, they really kind of put it down deep in the website, but I'll show you how to navigate the site and where to go to get it. You will need a BiblioBoard account. BiblioBoard is free. They're the company that partners with Pressbooks to get Pressbooks into the libraries. They're also the company that does the Indie Author Project. So if you wanted to be self-published, that's a way to go. Now, when it comes to writing your book, just write it. If you write it in Word, that's okay. If you write it in Pressbooks, that's okay too. Depending on how you've written it, you can actually import the file into Pressbooks, and then if you import it, you might have to do some formatting because honestly, Word comes in with a lot of bloated code when it comes to at least ebooks, and Pressbooks is going to look at it and try to make sense of it, but it might not be the easiest. In fact, if you're going from Word, PowerPoint, Word, Pages, Google Docs, your best bet might actually be to copy everything into Notepad and then copy it from Notepad into Pressbooks. That way you've lost any formatting and all you have is the raw text. But honestly, Pressbooks is so easy to write in. I wrote in it on my phone. So it's pretty awesome. It's just, you got to be good on a really tiny screen. Most important thing, and I've seen people do this in the past, so keep an eye out, is let the theme do the work for you. Don't worry about the font. Don't worry about position and all that other stuff. Let the theme do it. If you don't like the theme, change it. It's not going to affect your writing at all. That writing is a separate content from the theme, and you can change it and it's going to be fine. I know because I've done it. Now, here's some resources. Don't worry, we're not done by any stretch of the imagination, but Pressbooks has an official manual that is 100% free and written in Pressbooks, guide.pressbooks.com. They're constantly updating it, and because it's written in Pressbooks, they know all of the little tricks and places where you might get tripped up, but honestly, really simple to use. Also, you can check out the official Pressbooks YouTube channel, where they have tons of videos, always updating, and if they have something new, check out there. I'll send you these links so that you don't have to write them down. Now, let's go live. So the first place we're going to go is the Pressbooks website itself, pressbooks.com. So if you know an author who wants to do an ebook, is not part of the Jacksonville Public Library, or any library really, that isn't partnering with Pressbooks, they can come here. Remember, it's going to cost them money, but they can come here. We can go to plans, and we're going to choose self-publishers. Now I'm just going to scroll down the page a bit, and here we see the different prices. So Pressbooks, just to use it, is free. No credit card, just start using it. So it's really good as a way of testing the waters. If you want to have an ebook of it. So you're not going to be printing it. It's just going to be an EPUB and a Mobi, let's say. It's only 20 bucks. That's really not that bad. And it's only a one-time fee of 20 bucks. I don't know the back end, but it says one time per book. So I'm going to have to believe them, take them on their word. Then they have PDF plus ebook Pro. This is the option that you want to use if you're going to make a physical copy of the book. Again, $99 per book, but there's a lot of work that is being done by the system that you don't have to do. So what you are going to be required to do is weigh the cost benefit. Is it going to cost you more to hire someone to make a professional looking ebook or professional looking physical book, or is it going to cost you less doing it this way? Just something that you're going to have to look into. But the good news is if you are a library patron, you don't have to worry about it. So here at the Jacksonville Public Library, we, like I said, bury it pretty deep. To get to Pressbooks, you're going to find services. If you are on a mobile device, it's going to be the second of the two hamburger menus. Click services, and then you scroll down through all of this stuff. Did you know we offer this many services here at the library? And then we're going to choose self-publishing ebooks at the library. And then here we are, Pressbooks right there. Now, I have already signed in, so I'm going to skip that step. And here we are inside of Pressbooks. Now, the first time you make a book, you're going to be taken to this screen where it's going to say create a new book, and then you've got different options on what to call your book, both the webbook address and the book title. Here's the important thing. You cannot change the webbook address, so be careful. You can change your book title, but you can't change the webbook address. I'm not going to make another one right now. I'm just going to stick with this one that I have. I called it test book, or how I learned about Pressbooks. Try saying that 5 times fast. When you are in Pressbooks, this center area is the book itself. This might actually look very familiar to you if you have that WordPress experience that I mentioned. These are the individual chapters. Some of these come with the book automatically. You don't have to build them. Most you do. I'm going to go over here to organize. Over here on the left-hand side of the screen, I'm just going to click organize. And now it's taken the book and it has broken it up into those sections. Now, something that you need to understand about ebooks is that unlike if you were writing it in a Word document and you had the page 1 and then you went page 2, page 500, and it's all together in one file. Ebooks don't do that. Each individual chapter is a file because it's easier to navigate that way and it's easier to handle the data. So that's why you see each chapter here and they're all individual elements. And I can change the chapter order very easily. So if you write the book out of order, it's not a problem. Just call each chapter or even each area, whatever you want, and then you can put it in order for your final project. Just understand that whatever name you have here, that's going to be the name on your table of contents. So make sure that in the final work, before you hit publish, all of these are the right order and the right names for you. Also, see how I have this one here that says, notes do not publish. Well, if I just uncheck that, I can still come in and edit this chapter. It just will not be published when I hit export down the road. But let's go ahead and edit that one. So I'm going to click over here on the left where it says notes, do not publish, I'm going to click on edit. I could click on the title, but I'm clicking on edit right now. Up top, we have the title of the chapter. So if you've misspelled it or whatever, here's where you change that title. Here is the content. Now I have added text in here just to play around. Notice that from a you writing a book standpoint, there is not a single bit of code right now. This is the visual editor, so you're not going to have code for this. But if you do know how to do HTML and CSS, above the visual editor, it'll say visual. Over here in the right-hand corner of the visual editor, it'll say visual, and it'll say text. If I hit text, boom, there is all of your CSS and your HTML, really just your HTML. And now you can do whatever you need to do, make any changes. I don't need to do anything here. I can just do it from the visual editor. So let's say this word here needs to be bolded. So all I have to do is bold it. If I go back into the text, I can see that it is added in tags. It added in the strong tag for me. I didn't have to do that. Didn't have to write a single line of code. It did it for me. If I don't want this paragraph indented, and remember, something to remember whenever we're talking about HTML, ebooks, this sort of thing. This block of text that consists of 2 sentences is a paragraph. This block of text is a paragraph. This, what I just wrote, this is a paragraph as well. Anytime you hit enter, you're creating a new paragraph. Now, if this paragraph I do not want indented, all I have to do is come over here in my visual editor and say formats, unclick indent, and now it's not indented. Now, if I really don't want it indented, I can actually say format, no indent. This way, if there is an indent built into the theme, I have overridden it. And that's really going to be something that you have to play around with in your individual themes. Once I have made whatever changes I want to make, I'm going to come over and hit save over here on the right. Always want to save because otherwise you might lose a lot of data. But if you wanted to, you could just copy and paste this right in. I'm going to go back to organize. I'm going to click on this working it on mobile. Just so that we're clear, I wrote all of this on my phone. So I was walking through the library, wrote it on this phone here. There is no Pressbooks app yet, unfortunately, although I do keep checking because this is a great tool. But you can use your phone's browser to go to the library, go through the steps I showed you, and log in, and you can edit from your phone. Now, any questions about this part before I move on to the next section? So I'm going to come over here to book info, still over here on the left. And here's where I can add in the title, anything that I need to add about the book, I can place here. So if I've got an illustrator, I'm just going to say, yep, John Carter has illustrated this because he's just that awesome. Put in what publisher, what city, the publication date. That's going to be added to my metadata. If you have an ISBN, you can put it right here. Remember, you will need a ISBN for your ebook and for your physical book. And in fact, if you're doing a print, if you're doing a softback and a hardback, you need an ISBN for both of those versions as well. You can also create a cover in here. You can do the cover on your own or use some of their system. Cover image should be 1 to 1.5 aspect ratio. I have done a class on how to make a cover, and I will probably do a class again on the channel so that everybody has a record of that. Maximum size is 2 megabytes. Great thing about making a cover here in Pressbooks, in fact, great thing about using everything in here in Pressbooks, library version or the paid version. You own all of this. When you hit export, everything that is in that book is yours. They don't claim any rights to it, so you don't have to worry about Pressbooks coming after you for money. Speaking of appearance and themes and all that, let's go to themes. So I'll go to appearance, themes. And here are all of the themes available. And let me see, yep, still 21. You can choose whatever theme you want. So if I'm gonna, let's go with Christie theme. So I'll click on Christie theme details, and I can see this is what it's gonna generally look like. So I'll hit activate. And I'll sit back, wait for it to take hold. And now the Christie theme has been applied, and I'm gonna visit the book. And now it has everything I want. So let me go to working on mobile. Here is the theme. Let's go to, now for this, we know I said do not indent, to indent some of these, and it's not. Whether this is true in the ebook is something you're going to have to figure out when you export it. So there's going to be a lot of trial and error to getting things looking just right. But that being said, this is still a very readable format. But if you don't like it, we can always go back to our manage themes and change a different theme, change to a different theme. Also, we can go into the theme options and we can edit how it looks in different formats. We can even say, ooh, indent paragraphs. And now it will indent all the paragraphs online. In the PDF options, it even gives us the ability to customize our margins, choose our page size so that we have the best available. So if we wanted a US trade, it'll then fix everything for me. And I can come in here. I can enable hyphenation if I want, so that if the word is a little bit too long, it'll break it and hyphenate it if I want. And yes, I definitely want to indent my paragraphs. And I can change even more if I want to. Your best bet for any of these, if you don't know what the heck it means by front matter, Google it. It'll tell you, and then you go, oh, okay. And then you come back here. Custom styles, if you want to try your hand at some CSS or some that kind of thing, here is where you can come in and edit any CSS you want. My advice is allow the theme to be there, and then here is where you do your CSS. Notice that it says you are currently editing styles for web. Make sure you're in the right format before you start putting in your CSS. Otherwise, it's not going to show up in the mode you want. I will show you where you can go to learn some more about CSS. Let's not say it's time to export your book. You're ready to publish it. Well, so you come to export over on the left, choose whatever options you want. Remember, for if you're telling this to a friend who's not a library patron, it's going to be $20 for the EPUB and Mobi combined. If you wanted the print version as well, so that PDF for print and those sorts of things, then it's $100. But that's just something to consider down the road. But I want it in EPUB and Mobi, and I'm just going to hit export. And I sit back and it does all the work for me. So it's finished, and there are the books, and I can download them, take a look at them, make sure everything is working the way I want them to. Also, an export is that cover generator. So if you didn't have a cover of your own, you could come in and build it out to make it look the way you wanted to. Also, for publishing, we have the ability over here on the left to submit to the Indie Author Project right here from Pressbooks, so you don't have to come out and go somewhere else. You can also hit publish, and it will have different places where you can publish. So, not too bad. Media, not really. That's really it for Pressbooks. Now, let's talk resources. Where I will be saving this video is in my YouTube channel. You can find it by either going to the link that I will send you or going to YouTube and looking for Mr. John's Net Neighborhood. I've already put up the web design for small business and side hustles. I'll also put up the 2 classes I've done today here on my channel as well. Now, get these videos while they last. Eventually, what I'm going to do is bring down all the ones that I've done for the library and make them a little bit more compact, a little bit more easily digestible. But that's not today, it's not tomorrow. You've got plenty of time to view them. Other resources. Let's come here. The other resources are that Pressbook official manual, the Pressbooks YouTube channel, and if you want to learn about CSS and HTML and those sorts of things, check out the lynda.com videos on the same. And that is it. If you want to contact us, you can always email us at jpleservices@coj.net or contact us by phone at 904-255-2665. I do believe this will be the last ebook class I do this year, because in case you didn't know, we are going to be ending classes through the library at the end of this month. But I will be taking these online, so keep an eye out for more videos and more training in the future through the website I mentioned. Okay. So for some reason, these questions didn't pop up. So let's answer them. Can you load graphics onto Pressbooks? Yes, you absolutely can. Where are we? Here we go. So here in media, you can add images that you need to. There's the cover image I made for another one of the books I've written. This one I actually published through the library, but by all means add whatever media you want here, and then book info, organize, there we go. Let's go to the prologue. And there is, I tend to avoid adding pictures. So, class, anchor. Oh, add media. And then you would, heck, Let's just put that, insert into chapter, and here we go. And then I'm going to have to move it on the page to get it to where I want, or remove it. How do you get an ISBN? That is a good question. Let me jump back to Google, because this is where I always tell people to go. So what we'll do is we will just go isbn.org. This is where you go. And then you can buy your ISBNs. Usually they have a sale here for, heck, let's go to learn more. Yeah, here we go. 10 ISBNs for $300. This might sound insane, but one ISBN is 125. And remember, for every format that you have your book in, you need an ISBN. So if you're doing a physical and a digital, this is going to be your best bet long term. If you write your book in another program, you can absolutely update it to upload it to Pressbooks. Where is it? Settings, tools. Ah, here we go. Here in Pressbooks, under tools, import. And then it'll ask you what kind of file is it. So you are going to need to have it as a Word document, which you can do in Pages. Having said all of that, if you're using Pages, there's actually a button in Pages that says export as EPUB. That might be your best bet, both to get an EPUB and just to get an ebook. Thank you. Have a good day. Have a good rest of your week, and I'll see you next time.